Hi, I'm Sean from Motolegends. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the Neotec 2 from Shoei. As you can see laid out in front of me, there are a vast array of colours. This is a flip front helmet. What I'm going to do is take it over to the table, pull it apart and talk about it in more detail. So you're wondering, what do you get for the money? So what's inside the box? So if we open it up, first thing you'll see is a pin lock. It's not a cheap pin lock. This is the best pin lock you can get. It's a Pinlock Evo, which is actually Shoei's specific branded Pinlock 120, so it's the best pin lock you can get. Beyond that, obviously, you get a helmet with a helmet bag, and then you get a few more parts in here that you don't get with some of the more basic helmets. You'll get an additional breath guard, which for other helmets is often sold separately. You've got a manual, clearly, that you'll never read. You get some silicone oil, and this is just to help keep the seal on the visor nice and supple and not crack with age. And then they give you this tiny little tool here that most people throw away and not realise what it does. This actually helps keep the pin lock correctly torsioned and sort of nice and tight inside the visor, and that way you don't get any steam forming behind the pin lock. You also get a spare set of pins, and the rest of this is essentially things that I'm going to run through with you. So what makes the Neotec 2 different to its predecessor? Firstly, I'll point out something that was a bit of a trouble on the previous model. You used to get water running around here in heavy rain. Now they've introduced a double rain seal, which has vastly improved that, so we don't really get anyone coming complaining about water ingress through the top of the visor. They've improved the venting, so you've got a vent on the front here, and you've got two-position vent on the top. You've also then got an exhaust vent that is constantly open, but air only escapes with the front vents being open. There is an integrated comms kit now, so you don't have to plug anything up inside the helmet or bolt anything onto the outside. It's all integrated very nicely, and we'll show you later on how that all comes apart, and it's very simple to fit. This is now also legal to ride in the open face position, and that's thanks to a double homologation. It's both P and J rated. Basically means that when they test them, they test them in a crash position. They test them in an open position and a closed position, so make sure that you're safe even with this up. Buckle, there's not too much difference here, it's pretty much the same, but the inner lining is even more plush than the previous model, and it's just quieter, and that's thanks to the improved venting and how well it seals around the neck. So in terms of colorways, you saw briefly at the beginning, there's a number of different colors, and they fall into three different price points. So for the simple colors, just a gloss white and a gloss black, they're $519.99. All the colours in between without graphics are $549.99, and then the graphics all come in at $599.99. They are all the same helmet. There's no difference in the quality. It's literally the difference in the colour. So people often think of flip front helmets as being heavier. So you're probably wondering at this point, how much does a Neotec weigh? Well, there are 3 helmet shell sizes, which means there are more than one. There's more than one weight. They range from 1,615 grams all the way up to just over 1,800 grams, and that depends on whether you've got a pin lock fitted or different kinds of cheek pads, whether you've got chin curtains fitted. So ultimately, in the real world, it's not going to make a blind bit of difference, because what really matters is how well a helmet fits you. If a helmet is balanced nicely on your head, you won't notice an extra couple of grams. If a helmet fits poorly, you will notice the weight pushing at the front of your head, the back of your head, and it also greatly exaggerated. When you're moving fast, if you're going down a motorway, if a helmet isn't aerodynamic, you will be noticing that even more so, because the additional pressure of wind is going to exaggerate any pressure points on the helmet. So what I'm trying to get at here is this helmet fits superbly. Now, there's obviously different head shapes to compete with, and if you've got the wrong head shape, you might be unfortunate and not be able to wear one of these comfortably. But for the majority of people, we are able to custom fit these. And what I'm going to do is I will tear one of these apart and I will show you all the different things that we can do to the linings and the cheek pads so that we can get you absolutely the best fit possible. So when you start opening these helmets up, you realise exactly why they cost more money. You've got really nice metal fixings, whereas a lot of helmets like this will have a plastic fitting. Everything is put together beautifully. You've got stainless steel closing and opening function here, so all of this, the fixtures inside, aren't going to rust or degrade with age. These buckles, just really reassuring, and a lot of people like the double D ring, but this is one of the helmets that the police use, and they've got complete confidence in this system. Cheek pads come away very easily, like so, and that means that if you want to wash your helmet, this isn't going to be one of those nightmares that you dread. It's just a very simple one cheek pad out, two cheek pads out, and then the headliner follows very swiftly after that. So if you want to wash your inner linings because you are a heavy user, this needn't be a bother. So while these are out, I'll just explain a few things. The headliners come in different sizes, as do the cheek pads. So whether you've got a thicker, chubbier face or a thinner, slimmer face, we can accommodate that, and that's something you don't get with many other helmets. So we've got 31mm cheek pads for people that are fuller in the face, and then 39 for people with slimmer faces. We occasionally get people with really slim faces. And then we have another trick up our sleeve. These inserts can actually pad out even the thicker pads. So with one of these, you can pull the liners apart, revealing the different layers of foam inside, and you can actually see these things are made incredibly well. You've got lots of layers of foam in here. Each layer is a different density to improve comfort. So the harder density is towards the shell, and the softer density is towards the soft part of your face. And if you've got a slimmer face, like I said, you can add one of these in and they're just sticky back. But all of these things are something you wouldn't want to attempt by yourself. This is why we often encourage people to get a really good fit with a helmet. As much as you can purchase helmets online, we really focus on getting a helmet to fit perfectly here. This is one of the helmets we can really custom fit. Putting this thing back together quickly, I can show you something that will hopefully banish a myth. People often think that flip front helmets are noisy because of the crack in the shell. You think that they're going to let a lot more noise in. Well, that is actually not true. Well, actually, I say that again because in some cases it can be true. But in a helmet that's well thought out, what it actually allows you to do is create a very tight aperture for the neck. So because the helmet flips open, you are able to enter the helmet, so you can enter the helmet more easily like this, and when you close it down, it seals the neck far better. And I can grab a helmet in a second just to demonstrate how much more open a normal full face helmet is compared to a flip front helmet. So here you've got these tabs that help keep wind out. You've got the real soft lining here for comfort, and then closing this down, you end up with this tiny aperture that really seals the neck And if a helmet is fitting you correctly and snugly, you shouldn't have any problem with wind noise with one of these. So what I'll do now, I'll just quickly grab another helmet, I'll show you a comparison, and you can see how much more air is going to get through the bottom of a standard full face helmet compared to a flip front helmet. So quick demonstration, just as I was saying, much wider aperture on a full face helmet to that you would get on a flip front, and that just means that there's less chance of air coming up causing more noise. So as we've mentioned earlier, this helmet is set up to take an integrated comms, which is made by Sena. It's the equivalent of a 20S, which is a unit that would normally sit on the outside of the helmet, whereas with this, you've got these little clips. They come away, it's then replaced with a unit. We will do another video showing how easy this is to fit. It takes about 3 minutes to fit if you've had a bit of practice. This is the unit, so it's lots of wires and dangly bits. That all packs very nicely down into here, and all you end up with is 3 buttons on the left-hand side, obviously throttle hand over here, leaving your left hand free to do whatever you need to do with the buttons, to answer phone calls, listen to music, have conversations with other riders. There's a whole host of functions that has, and it just makes this helmet a real sort of complete deal. You can be riding along and use your Siri or whatever the Android equivalent is while you're riding along and ask it to direct you to places and all sorts of things. So it sort of takes a helmet like this to the next level. If you're a touring guy and you want to be listening to music because you've got a long day in the saddle, really good sound quality, and it's just actually the microphone's brilliant. You can have conversations at motorway speeds, no problem. So we'll do another video about that, detailing how to fit it and all the little technical features, but that pretty much sums up what happens with the comms in this helmet. So to summarize, the Neotec 2 is everything you'd want from a flip front helmet. You've got a drop down visor, you've got a fantastically customizable and comfortable interior, you have integrated comms that can be purchased separately, you get in the box the top spec Pinlock, and it also comes in a vast array of colours to match your bike. There are very few people that wouldn't benefit from a helmet of this quality in pretty much any situation. I've even done a little bit of light off-roading in one of these. Not the perfect helmet, but it can be done. So if you want a helmet that's for pretty much any situation, this is the one for you. If you want an absolutely perfect custom fit, we recommend you come and see us in our shop in Guildford. If you're happy to have a go, obviously you can come and see, you can get the helmet online at motolegends.com. And if you want any more information or you want to read one of our write-ups on this helmet, again, visit the website motolegends.com. I've been Sean, and I hope you've enjoyed this video.